Hey everyone, it's Vlogsden, and today I am going to be reading Chapter 5, Episode 5 of Winx Saga. Sorry I haven't really been able to make videos recently. I've been really busy and definitely have had a lot to do for getting ready for college and writing books. So what we're going to be doing is reading Chapter 5, Episode 5, A Hidden School Full of Secrets. And this is very different, so just I'll fill you guys in. Don't forget to leave a comment, like, and subscribe. Okay, let's get started. After the assembly, Musa, Techna, and Flora talked. I hope Bloom found some answers, said Flora. I hope so too, replied Techna. Musa looked over at Beatrix, who was hanging with Isabel. It looks like a trio's missing a sister. Looks like the trio's missing a sister, said Musa. Techna and Flora look over to where she's looking. You're right. I hope Bloom's okay, said Flora. I'm sure she's fine. Yeah, Bloom's strong. If she ran into Darcy, I'm sure everything will be alright. Assured Techna. Meanwhile, Darcy questions Bloom's true motives. So why are you really down here? Asked Darcy. Doesn't matter. All I found was dead ends. Except for this, said Bloom as she walked over to a locked door. So let's go in. It's locked. And you're a fire fairy, Bloom. I've seen you in class. I know you're powerful. The question is, how powerful? If I wanted to, I could get through this door. I light the whole school on fire in the process, but power? That's not a problem. Good to know. But you do want answers. I could fire the hinges, suggested Bloom. Or I could just pick the lock. Yeah, that's much clearer. Darcy and Bloom stepped into the previously locked room. Meanwhile, Isabel and Beatrix head into the woods. Musa, Techna, Flora, Sky, Brandon, and Timmy decide to follow them. Meanwhile, Darcy questions who Bloom really is. I knew Althea had a military past, but it's still a school. It's like a war room. It's not like a war room, it is a war room. A place where dangerous, shady people decide who lives and who dies. Seems like there was a war during December of 2005, said Bloom as she and Darcy flipped through some papers. There's a mention here of Daphne. Did you say Daphne? Didn't you say Daphne was an all-power fairy? No, my sister said something about that. History's not my specialty, but what I remember, Daphne was a fairy who had the dragon flame. Something happened to her when she was defending the Kingdom Domino from the 3 ancestral witches, said Darcy. Wait, Daphne had the dragon flame? Has the dragon flame? Had the dragon flame. Past tense. Daphne passed it on to someone. There's also mention of a place called Astrodale. Maybe I can find it on that map thing. No, I know where it is. Want to go? said Darcy, who was communicating telepathically with her sisters to meet her at Astrodale. Like, right now? Said Bloom, confused. She still didn't trust Darcy, but at least she was getting some answers. It's a few hours from here. You ditched the assembly, lied to Sky, broke into a secret war room, and now you want to give up? I'm just saying it's late. I'm just saying that it's late, and maybe I don't want to ditch school with someone I barely know. You know that I've got you farther than anyone else has. And that I'm also ditching school with someone I barely know. But maybe Darling will spill the beans now that you've found the secret war room she keeps under lock and key. How would we get there? Let me worry about that, said Bloom as she and Darcy prepared to head to Astrodale. Meanwhile, Beatrix and Isabel wait at the edge of Astrodale. Flora, Musa, Techna, Stella, Sky, Timmy, and Brandon are hiding behind some rocks. They listen in on the conversation between Isabel and Beatrix. What are we waiting for? We're waiting for Darcy. Should we warn Headmistress Griffin of what we're doing? We didn't find much evidence that proves Darling and the rest of the faculty are murderers. Just papers about the Lost Kingdom Wars. Headmistress Griffin doesn't know we are looking for the dragon, so we're not going to warn her or anybody else for that matter, said Isabel. I guess you're right. We're really well at this whole spy thing. But we're not done yet. The best is yet to come. Behind the rocks, Musa and Techno do their best to find out what the sisters are up to. But they don't find much. All they can do now is hope Bloom will be okay. Meanwhile, back at the school, Darcy pulls up a car. What are you waiting for? Get in! Bloom hurried into the car. You stole a car? How do you know how to steal a car? Asked Bloom. I know how to do a lot of things. Darcy drove as fast as she could. Eventually, they arrived at Astrodale. Isabel and Beatrix waited for Darcy's signal so they could come out of hiding. Astrodale was a town, right? Are you sure this is the right place? Positive. How could a town be marked on a map if it's on the other side of the mountain? Bloom was confused, but Darcy knew what to do. You're not the only powerful fairy at Althea, said Darcy as Beatrix and Isabel stepped out of hiding. Beatrix threw lightning at the area, revealing a barrier. The barrier began to disappear, revealing a destroyed town and a hidden school. What the heck is this place? Behind the rocks, Bloom's friends were still hiding. They had to wait for the right time to come out. Welcome to Astrodale. It was a beautiful place, full of people just trying to live their lives. Astrodale was a village inside one of the lost kingdoms known as Diamond. The queen allowed witches to settle into Astrodale. Said they would always be welcome. Not all witches settled though. Some witches thought dangers would come to this village, and they were right. One winter, when burned ones surrounded the settlement, a military unit from Althea decided that destroying the creatures was more important than the lives of the people here. The queen during the attack was killed, and so were her daughters. One of the survivors, Griffin, decided to create a school where all witches would be safe. This doesn't make any sense, You're making this up somehow, said Bloom, refusing to believe the truth. What we're saying is true, Bloom. No, this doesn't seem right. Who would do this? Asked Bloom, who was still in denial. Darling, Silva, Harvey, Giselda, Pladum, and Dufu, answered Beatrix. But the faculty, they're not monsters. Doesn't help that someone told them that the sailors of Astrogel weren't just any witches, but blood witches, when not all of them were, only a few. The faculty thought they could kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Mistress Griffin decided to continue teaching about blood witch magic, since that was the only magic she knew. A blood witch, or any kind of witch, is a fairy who can do spells based on the element they were born with. Mistress Griffin calls the school Cloud Tower. My sisters and I were raised here at this school. Wait, then why do you go to Althea? So we can find proof that Darling and the rest of the faculty are murderers, answered Darcy. So you came to Althea to reveal the truth about who the teachers really were, said Bloom. Correct. But we also came to find the fairy who has the dragon flame, said Isabel. After you asked about Daphne at the library, I wasn't sure what to make of you. Then I found out you were a changeling, did some math, and started putting 2 and 2 together. But we weren't sure until today. You were the baby that Daphne hid in the first world to keep you safe, because Daphne knew you would keep the dragon flame safe and use it wisely. Seems like she was wrong about a few things. So, I'm the fairy she transferred the power into, said Bloom, who was putting more and more pieces together. It's a lot, I know. Which is why you should give the dragon flame to someone who will be much more careful with it, said Isabel, who was referring to her, Beatrix, and Darcy. No way, I just met you 3 sisters. I don't trust you. You don't get it, do you? We're not giving you much of an option, Bloom. Meanwhile, behind the rocks, the girls plus Sky, Brandon, and Timmy decide to come out of hiding. Isabel creates an ice dome over her friends. Give us your power, Bloom, or I'll crush your friends, said Isabel. No, leave them alone. I will not give you my powers, said Bloom. Meanwhile, inside the ice dome, we have to figure a way out of here. How? The only thing we could do the only thing that could break the dome is heat. And none of us are fire fairies, said Flora. I have an idea. I'll call him Mr. Silva, suggested Sky. No way are we going to teach us. Do you have a better idea? Well, no, but what are the teachers going to do? I don't know, but at least all of this will be stopped and Bloom will be okay. Everyone agreed, and Sky called Silva. Meanwhile, back at the school, Farah is speaking with Olivia about Bloom's progress. She's doing fine in most of her classes, but I think you should tell her the truth about her origins. I think Bloom needs to find out on her own, Besides, we don't know how she's going to react. We never know how she's going to react, said Olivia as Silver rushes into the room. What is it? Sky just called me. They're in danger. And one of the Queen's guards was knocked out. His SUV is gone. Who's they? I'll explain all it. Olivia, go with him, said Farah as Olivia and Silva left the room. They get in a car and drive. They are followed by other cars that the Queen's guards are in. Olivia, do you think you can find him? You're asking an all-powered fairy if she can find a few teenagers. Of course I can find them, said Olivia as she closed her eyes and used her mind powers to locate Bloom. Found them. They're in Astrodale. Let's go. Meanwhile, back at Astrodale, those in the ice dome decide to tell the sisters that the teachers are on their way. This way the sisters might stand down. Isabel, Darcy, and Beatrix talk about what they should do. We need the dragonfly. Patience, sister. After today, we may not get another chance. I know, which is why Darcy and I are going to tell Headmistress Griffin our plan. What about me? You're going to keep the teachers busy, but don't tell them anything. Got it? Said Isabel. Beatrix agreed. Isabel and Darcy left. Silva, Olivia, and the Queen's Guard arrived. Beatrix is detained, and everyone else is returned safely back to the school. Silva talks to Olivia and Sky. Both of you are to gain Bloom's trust. Find out everything you can, including what happened on that road trip. And you are to tell me. Yes, sir. Silva left the room. I feel like we need to know more about what's going on. The faculty is hiding something. One of the lessons I learned at this school is that sometimes a soldier just has to take orders. Don't question them. Just do what you're told, said Olivia as she and Sky headed to bed. Meanwhile, back at the Winx Weeks, the girls hugged and asked Bloom what happened. Bloom explained everything to them. Do you believe them? Somewhat. Well, what happened in the past does match up with what they said, commented Tekna. I think we need to get into that school. I agree. There are tunnels underneath the schools. Maybe one of them leads to Cloud Tower, suggested Tekna. Then it's settled. Tomorrow we'll sneak into Cloud Tower and find what's really going on, said Bloom. Hopefully tomorrow we will be reading chapter 6. That is our Happy Ice Day. Bye!